Hi, this is Dr. Bob Smith. I want to talk to you again about pectin. And the reason I'm going over pectin again is when I made the description before, somebody had more questions. So I want to give you the big picture of what does pectin really do and how big is it. So remember, pectin is what you get out of oranges, cuties, grapefruit, apples, all that citrus fruit. And this is important because we're finding out you need and I need to have pectin every day in our diet because it helps to protect our organs and our brain. It's really a big story, so let me explain to you real quick what it's about. This molecule has an interesting structure about it that will grab bad bacterial body parts and keep them from getting inside of us. We've all heard about fruits and vegetables having the flavonoids that are antioxidants to reactive oxygen stress, help to block cytokines, help to protect brain. That's the obvious part, but something new that they just realized fairly recently is that this gut inflammation connects directly to our brain, and brain inflammation back to the gut. It's a two-way street. It's a big thing because if you hit your head, it'll make your stomach cause problems. If you have stomach problems, it makes your head have problems. Why is that big? Because in the gut, those body parts of the bacteria called lipopolysaccharides, which are what's found in most of the gram negative, the E. coli bacteria that make up our intestines, if they get across that intestinal barrier, which they can, because if you look at the little single finger, we flip back here real quick. You saw these little fingers? If you take just one of those and blow it up real big, there's where the endochromic cells are at. These are the guys that make serotonin, 95% of it, and this is what keeps your intestines happy. Remember, serotonin is the happy hormone. Well, your intestines have to remain happy. 95% of it's made and used in your intestines. So that 5% that you hear about taking for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors to be antidepressants that work in your brain, that's just working also in the gut too, because both of those have to be kept happy because these cells matter. And these lipopolysaccharides, that gram-negative part from the bacteria, when those guys get across, which obviously they can if you don't have enough pectin, it'll inflame the liver, the arteries, even gets into our fat. And that becomes a big deal because anything that becomes inflammatory and gets across into the blood-brain barrier can make problems down the road. And understand, even if you have a high fat diet, which everybody's got more than they're supposed to, if you have pectin, it protects against the bad bacterial parts. It helps to reduce those inflammatory parts. It helps reduce the inflammation. It keeps the junction better and healthier. It actually reduces it and makes it actually work better because it's an alkaline environment. Kind of neat. Because these damaged parts from the bacteria, they build this contraption called an inflammasome. It's a signaling thing inside of the cells. And when you get a shot of calcium shooting in because of something's going wrong, or the mitochondria get stressed, we've talked about that before, these things cause these inflammasomes to spring open like a pinwheel. And when that happens, this is where it becomes a big problem. Pyrotosis is a high inflammatory cell which ruptures and it lets all this stuff out into our bodies. Also, asbestos, aluminum, amyloids, bad amyloid plates, metals, cadmiums, arsenic. Good news, all of those are helped by taking pectin because it stops it from ever getting in here. So if you don't have it in here because the pectin stopped it, you never get it in here, so it never gets built with these bad body parts. So when that pinwheel opens, it doesn't produce a crazy reaction of full-blown infection becoming a systemic inflammatory event, which is what is associated with organ failure in people who get sick and go really sick all of a sudden and don't survive. So remember, we want to keep our brains cool. The way we do that is by not making the calcium jump out and cause that inflammation thing to the brain. It's a big deal. You can use this QR code, go look it up. You'll find in there, if you enter in the information on there requested, I'll send you information about the different types of pectins they have out there. Remember, you can also do apples, oranges. You can do Jello pectin or jelly pectin you can buy at the store. Mix it up and follow directions so you get enough of the pectin. If you don't eat fruits, you don't eat a lot of vegetables, check into this QR code because you probably want to start taking pectin every day. Dr. Bob Smith, I hope this is helpful. Hello, Dr. Bob Smith here. It's amazing when you think about it how much information has changed and developed over the last year, 5 years, 15 years, 50 years that point to the understanding of how nutrition as a science, and specifically the interplay between us and our bacteria in our intestines and all of our genes and those bacterial genes, either upregulate and produce things that make us exceedingly healthy or play a part in making us not so healthy. Part of it's what we eat, part of it's what the bacteria produce as byproducts. All of those come into play. And the only education we can actually use now to help ourselves literally is the education that gives us a background that lets us understand how this works and do it in a way that we can use it in our own daily lives. That's what I try to give people an opportunity to understand, so they have a foundation to understand when they're making choices about food, about supplements, about anything when it comes relating to their health and activities, so they know up front that this is going to be a good or great idea for me for the long term to keep me in better shape and feeling better. These are the sort of problems we face in addressing and trying to get answers on how to be healthy. And I'm Dr. Bob Smith. I would like to help you in your journey to find better health and nutrition along the way. Give us a call.